Good morning, all, depending when you're watching this. Good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to talk about the official English reveal of Scarlet and Violet in the Pokemon trading card game. I showed you earlier today the Japanese reveal with Koraidon and Miraidon EX. Well, wonderful news, ladies and gentlemen. We've now got the English reveal, and there are a couple of really big changes coming to the Pokemon trading card game, which are big and awesome, and you should all be extremely excited about. Essentially, Pokemon have been listening, and I am delighted. So here's what they went and said on the website. Pokémon Scarlet and Violet launched last month and ushered in a new generation of Pokémon as trainers embark on their treasure hunt through the Paldea region. The upcoming Pokémon trading card game is following suit and taking its own step in the upcoming Scarlet and Violet series with adjustments to card aesthetic, pack contents, and more. And there are certain things happening which are absolutely amazing. I mean, one thing that is very much worth pointing out, and this shouldn't really need to be said, but I'm going to say it anyway. I've talked in my video earlier, and I will be in upcoming videos, about the fact that Japan has a double set. They've got Scarlet EX and Violet EX. And some of the cards are only available in Scarlet EX, and some of the cards are only available in Violet EX. Well, that's not going to be the case over here. We are going to get one set, Scarlet and Violet. It's the way it's always been done in Japan and over here, and there's not too much we can do about it. Honestly, I probably actually prefer it this way. But you know what is also going to be the same as in Japan? The card borders! They are finally getting rid of those horrendous yellow borders, and they are giving us the silver borders that they've had in Japan since the beginning, I'm pretty sure. And I've mentioned in multiple videos about how the yellow borders just aren't as good. And they're not. And I think a lot of the reason is the cards are designed in Japan by artists in Japan to be made into cards in Japan. So they're made with the silver borders in mind. And then they come over here with the yellow borders, they're not as good. I showed you the other day, we had the first official English reveal from Crown Zenith. And it was the artwork rare of Altaria. And I told you in that video that the silver border had been replaced by a yellow border, so look at them side by side, and I told you it wasn't as good. And I told you it made the card significantly less good. And I had a couple of comments of people going, you knew this was going to happen. Yes, I did know this was going to happen. We all knew it was going to happen. But we all can also look at it and go, yeah, that's not as good. But now they're replacing it, ladies and gentlemen. And we're now getting the silver borders. And I'm sorry, the cards look better. And this is a card game. Every time we're playing it, flicking through our binders, however we're using this game, we're looking at these cards constantly. And it's a little change, which is going to make the cards look so much better. And that, to me, ladies and gentlemen, is absolutely huge and brilliant and wonderful, and I love it, ladies and gentlemen. I absolutely love it. On the website, they said this: moving forward, the classic yellow borders framing Pokemon TCG cards will transition to the same silver border used in Japan. This change both frames Pokemon TCG artwork in its originally intended border and further unifies the game on a global level. The subcategory of trainer cards, supporter, stadium, etc., currently located on the top right of trainer cards, will be moved to the top left of the card to be more visible in players' hands. So, if we look at Professor's Research Sada, she's cooler than Turo, compared to, for instance, Professor's Research Juniper, we can see that actually, yeah, they've moved it and it does look a bit better. Because if we all think about the way we hold our cards, this just makes sense. And this proves that Pokemon, and we've known this for a while, only the most cynical people have not actually realised this. We know that Pokemon are listening to players. And Pokemon have been listening to players for a long time. And this is just one more example. People like myself and the lovely Primal Lugia, he of Poker Guardian, have talked a lot about the fact that these yellow borders aren't as good, and especially on these premium cards, they just don't look as good. I mean, and then let's take Radiant Greninja as an example. If we look at the two cards on the screen right now, you can see that Radiant Greninja in Japan has the silver border, which looks awesome. And I don't really, and I know it's all personal preference and all of that, but I really don't see how anyone could look at that Radiant Greninja in English with that blue border and go, that's just as good. It's not just as good. It doesn't look as good, and the fact that they've gotten rid of it is amazing. Now, the other big change that really has been made here is with basic energy, and it's annoying. I recorded a video which is going up tomorrow talking a bit about basic energy, and we're now going to have to cover it here. So if you see a little discussion in a future video, just kind of go along with it. It's all good. But they now look like Uno cards. Tell me they don't look like Uno cards. I'll wait. And I'll be honest with you, I like this new design of basic energy. I never really liked the last time we had a refresh of this was over in Brilliant Stars, and I didn't really like it. There's little sides that come off, the little lines on the side. They look weird. I always thought my cards were damaged when I saw them. I don't like it as much. They never looked as cool. Nobody cares, ladies and gentlemen. They gone, and I love it. So yeah, I think these look a little bit cooler. They have also made a very important change. You'll notice, as well as having the energy symbol in the top right-hand corner, like they've always had, it also says basic energy with the symbol on the top. And you've got that little energy in the bottom right-hand corner, and that means that it's going to be much easier to see in your hand, etc. It means that if people are putting their energy underneath the cards with the bottom hanging out, you'll be able to see what the energy is. It's just going to make it a little bit easier. Over on the website, they said this: energy cards are also changing with the Scarlet and Violet series. The name of the energy will now be featured on the top of the card alongside a new subtype tag for energy. The energy symbol currently featured on energy cards will now appear on the bottom right of energy cards. This change makes the amount and type of energy attached to each Pokemon clearer for each player. Lastly, expansion symbols will now be replaced by expansion codes on the bottom left of each card. So if we take Professors Research, Sada and Turo as examples... No. Let's take the first partner Pokemon, Quaxly, Fuecoco and Sprigatito. You'll notice that it says in the bottom left-hand corner, SV1EN. I miss the symbols, I'll be honest with you. I do miss the symbols. You know, if we look at Silver Tempest, that symbol is clearly Lugia. And I love what some of the artists have done with these little symbols. They are really cool. But this does make so much more sense than the symbols. And we've had these symbols for pretty much since the beginning of the game. Since way back when. And I love them. But in Japan, they have had codes for a long time now. And it just makes more sense. This is the first Scarlet and Violet set in English. SV1EN. That makes so much sense. Because up until now, we've all had to learn which symbol goes with which expansion, and we've had to learn the order in which they were released. Come on. This is definitely a better way to do it, though I do understand that not everybody is going to be a huge fan of this. But they've also confirmed an increase of price. And I told you this was coming, incidentally, because we had the announcement a few weeks ago in Japan that there was going to be an increase in price. And I told you that that was going to be the case over here because, well, it's just the way the world's going. And let's face it, we were always going to get our announcement a little bit after Japan's announcement because that was the only thing that really made sense, honestly. And it was inevitable. And I'm going to tell you something right now, and I'm not being a shill for the Pokemon Company when I tell you this. I love what they've done. Now, I don't love that they've raised the RRP or the MSRP for a booster pack from $3.99 to $4.49 in the US. Not a fan of that. But what they are doing now is they are making sure that there are free foil cards per booster, and all cards with a rarity of rare or higher will now be foil. Non-foil rares are gone. For what it's worth, non-foil rares in Japan went a long time ago. Japan, and you'll notice I'm saying a lot in this video of Japan's already doing this. Japan's already doing this. You know what? The silver borders are better. Having the set codes rather than symbols on the cards makes a lot more sense. And having no non-holo rares makes sense as well. So now, instead of potentially paying $4 for a pack and getting a non-holo rare and basically like 50 cents worth of bulk, if you're lucky, what you're now going to get is at least 3 holo cards. So they are massively increasing the pull rates. And when you look at games like One Piece and Digimon, that both give 2 holo rares at least per pack. They have 2 holo rares, but the rare might be replaced by a super rare or a secret rare. When you have games like that coming around, this makes sense. Because actually, sneakily, Pokemon have started to get a bit less competitive in this regard, because you could get a non-holo rare when games like One Piece are giving you 2 holo rares per pack. Yeah, not an issue anymore, ladies and gentlemen. Not an issue anymore at all. Pokemon are making things better, and I love this. I adore this. Because I've been doing a lot of English openings lately where I've been saying I don't like my pulls, things are bad, and we're going to have to wait until the set is actually released. We're going to have to wait until we actually get our hands on these to really know for certain, but this just seems better. And it really does seem like they are making the pull rates better. So yes, the price is increasing, but that's fine because they are making... Essentially, they're increasing the price by 1/8, 12.5%, but making the pull rates like 3 times as good. I mean, come on. Simple math tells you this is absolutely worth it. They've also mentioned that other products are getting a bit better as well, although they will be increasing in price. So Elite Trainer Boxes will get +1 pack. And they will all have a full art promo card. Remember, up till now, only special sets have had a promo card. So, for instance, your Silver Tempest Elite Trainer Box, regular set, does not have a promo. Whereas your Crown Zenith Elite Trainer Box, special set, does have a promo. That all makes perfect sense to me. So, I'm sorry if I just sound overly enthusiastic, but I don't really care. I just love this. And I think what they're doing is absolutely brilliant. I love getting rid of the yellow borders. And seriously, if you've been watching this channel for any length of time, you have heard me talk about how I don't like the yellow borders and the silver ones are better. I love that they are making things a little bit easier in terms of the set numbers. And I don't love that they're increasing the price. Obviously, that's ridiculous. But I am totally on board with paying an extra 50 cents a pack if I'm getting 3 holo rares, at least, rather than the potential of... I mean, put it this way. In my recent openings, I've been hitting 2 out of 3 packs as non-holo rares. When 2 of my 3 packs have a non-holo rare and no holos, I'm sorry, I'm not a happy wassy. So you're telling me I've got to pay a tiny bit more per pack, but now I'm getting 3 holo rares minimum? I'm in, ladies and gentlemen. I am in. As a side note, you should now expect our rarities to start matching up with Japan, because we've had a lot of Japanese uncommons coming over here as non-holo rares, and I don't think that's going to happen anymore. Just a prediction on my part. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Big news, exciting news. I'm delighted. This is turning into one of the busiest days I can remember. And you know what? If they keep chucking this ridiculous news at me, I'm okay with it, ladies and gentlemen. I am okay with it. But there is one more thing we need to mention here, and that is the fact that this is releasing on March the 31st. This is our February set, and it is releasing on March the 31st. Now, we've left it till the end to mention this because I don't know what to think about it. I don't really understand it because this is our February set and we're getting it on the last day of March. And every time we get sets in February, May, August, and November. So is this going to be where we have 2 months between sets at one point? Bearing in mind it was only 2 months between Lost Origin and Silver Tempest, so it does happen sometimes. Because we're not going to just delay everything by a month. We're not going to have a December set. I've told you guys multiple times in these videos, our November set has to be November because that catches the Christmas shoppers. Pokemon are not going to drop a set in mid-December. You don't have enough time to really sell enough before Christmas. That's not happening. So are we going to go to a new release schedule? Are we going to get 3 sets per year? Are we going to have 2 months between sets at some point? Incidentally, that's my personal guess. I don't know, and I don't have enough information to really make a proper guess. Maybe we'll do a chat about this later on, but for now, largely excellent news, with just one little caveat about the release date, which is very, very confusing. But now I want to hear from you guys. How excited are you about this? How much are you looking forward to Scarlet Violet and the TCG? Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk Pokemon and card games and all kinds of fun things. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel. You can get some bonus podcasts where I answer all of your questions. Join a Discord where we chat Pokemon. And to be honest, anything you want to chat about. And you can get a shout out on the channel, like the lovely Javier Garcia, who's been a supporter of ours for a very long time now, and is a very lovely person. So thank you very much for the support, and thank you for being a very lovely person. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.